Morning, everybody. It is Monday. I want to say it's the 18th or 19th. I'm not sure. It was bench day at the gym primarily. Wes and Jennifer are doing high frequency training, so they were squatting as well. And I did some log press. Good day. Everybody had a good day. So anyway, past few weekends, it's been the past 6 months especially, we've always been busy at the gym, but the online coaching has increased a little bit. I have Matthew McGoldrick on AppLift that recently competed and won his class. And like on Saturdays used to be kind of like a bonus session where, I'd have people come in and they'd get their deadlift workout in or whatever the case may be, some strongman training, throwing, conditioning, any sort of thing. And Melissa and I have traditionally done some Olympic lifting. And of late, the team has grown exponentially, which, I'm really excited about. And Saturdays have become really a premium session, especially since we've been home a little more often in the past, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks. There for a while, I was on an airplane once or twice a month. And again, that's exciting as well, don't get me wrong. The whole gist behind this video is that I just want to take time, when things are going well, we kind of take things for granted. And in a situation like the gym that we have and that I own, you're going to have ebb and flow. In our morning crew, we're kind of ebbing right now. We've picked up a few people, but each crew ebbs and flows, and that's just the nature of the business. But when you can consistently stay busy, and the exciting thing is all the things that are going on, and that's what I wanted to share today. The Rices, I coach John and Jody, husband and wife, and their youngest son, Elliot. And Elliot's kind of a prodigy, and Elliot has the potential to be very special and to be very great. And we've had the conversation of what the difference is between being really good and being exceptionally great, and what kind of commitment that takes. The thing is, you got to remember he's a 14-year-old kid, so. But he's really bright, and the future has an immense amount of opportunity for him in powerlifting should he choose to stay committed to it. But they were down, and Jody got to try on a bench shirt. I just put her in one of mine and let her get a feel, and she did really well, but she doesn't want me to disclose any information in case she ever competes. I think we've got a couple of kinks worked out on John's deadlift, and and that's the whole idea behind sessions like that we make sure that we're making adjustments as necessary where they're maximizing their training. And John, to his credit, powered through some injuries and went ahead and competed at nationals. Of course, did not have the day that he wanted, but I think had a better day than he thought he was going to have. And we're working on form and wherever we can push a little bit, we are. Anyway, before this gets any longer winded than it is, Elliot is just tremendous. It's one of those things where you don't really have any idea of what the capacity is. To give you an example, he was scheduled, I want to say, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say I had him scheduled to do a front squat single paused at 10 pounds under his current PR. We're kind of building back up after nationals, and he just does it so easy, and I was like, well, we got to get another one. And I'm one of these guys that I generally stick to the program, but when you have when you can catch lightning in the bottle, you have to do it. On the other hand, there are times where clearly the lifter is not quite where they need to be on that day for whatever reason, and you take what the session gives you and you walk away. you know, and I'm still a firm believer in the only bad session is the one you didn't do. If you miss it, then it's bad. If you're there and you get something in, you know, then you're ahead of the game. So we take him to 325, which I want to say is it's a PR. It's not significant, but it's more than a 5-pound PR. And he goes down, he front squats it, and he looks over at me and he goes, "I'm sorry, I forgot to pause it." So I was like, "Just do it again." So he pauses 325, tries 350. Actually, that would be 325, 45, 50. I thought it was 350. We miscounted, it was 360, and he missed it. So we dropped it to 340, and he crushed it. So, you know, to be able, he just unflappable, you know, and Jennifer said, you know, he just doesn't know any better. And I think there's certainly something to be said for that, and certainly a strength for him. But he's done this enough now to where, you know, you would think he would be nervous, or the only thing I've seen him do is at nationals, at Raw Nationals, he seemed a little bit out of it squatting, and when we got to the back area of the galley where the lifters were, you could see he goes, "Man, I was struggling, so it was so hot in the warm-up room." And I was like, I see. It was never because I thought he was nervous. He wasn't nervous. So it's really kind of a neat thing to see a kid at 14 just be unflappable, you know, regardless of the circumstances, and just doesn't get rattled. Then he goes to the Rogue trap bar and he deadlifted on the raised handle Rogue 600 pounds. It's just silly. And then X Mike, if you guys follow us, he's the big James Hetfield looking guy covered in tattoos, kind of a Polska Viking guy. Just big, sweet, nice guy. But God, he's so strong. We went for 750 for a triple on the Rogue trap bar for his PR, and he hit it so well. Again, a lightning in the bottle kind of thing. I said, you can hit 800 for a single, which the week before he had missed. And man, to his credit, he even was out of position a little bit and pulled right through it. So, you know, those are, that's a big milestone pull for him and a goal that he had, you know, and so it's an enormous moment. You know, and I know, you know, Mike and I have this great connection, and it was emotional for me, you know, because I knew how much that meant to him, you know, especially after he had missed it the week before. And to go on, there's several PRs. Cole Fort, one of our wrestlers at Wilson Central, who's growing up in the gym. He's become, you know, now a young man instead of a little boy. Front squatted 235, and then trap bar deadlifted with good form and room to spare 385. Riley was there, pulled really well, front squatted well. We have a couple, Adam and Brittany Hasty, and Brittany front squatted 135, so she had a big plate. I had her squatting with a 20 kilo bar. And you know, it's one of those things where you see someone who is working hard on being confident, you know, and one of the things with Brittany is getting her to color outside the lines a little bit, you know, and be a little more aggressive, which is, you know, it's just kind of outside the lines of her personality, and that's fine. That's not a diminishing statement. It is what it is, and she's learning, you know, on her chosen moments, you know, to do just that. So there was a Bobby Menace sighting at the gym. The point of all this is that there's a lot of cool things happening. I was in the gym from about 6 a.m. till about 1:30 because I hung out with Bobby while he was doing assistance. And then I went upstairs and did a little work on the computer while I was entering all the videos to social media, because that's important. And I'm not very good at it. I'm really slow with all the hashtags and everything, but I'm learning. But the bottom line is I am so very thankful and so very blessed to get to work with so many, both at home and out there on the internet, and for people to have faith and belief in what we do and what we teach and help each other. Because there's a lot of times now that I get to sit, take video, get to coach, and the lifters, the athletes take care of each other. They hand off, they spot. You and that it's really a super, super cool thing to see. And, it requires a lot of energy. I will tell you that about 3:30 Saturday afternoon, I was exhausted. And, and it is a job, but I absolutely love it. I love the pursuit of strength. I love the realization of people, achieving their goals, especially big goals, and seeing people doing incredible things in the pursuit of greatness, whatever that may mean to that particular person. And for me to be able to be a part of it and help guide and coach is immense. And it's why I do this. I had an interesting conversation as once everybody else left and Melissa went upstairs, Bobby and I were talking, and I was telling him about the early days of the gym and how it had to be worked on and built and the stages, like there's been 2 stages of lighting. When I moved in, the area that you see of the gym where we squat didn't exist. When I bought the house, me and the guy that owned it, who is a very, very dear friend of mine and family, and he never wants his name mentioned, but he knows who he is and his family and what they mean to me. And we decided that he would sell me the house and we would build an addition, and that's how that leg area came to be. But prior to that, the bench area as it is used to have walls and things of that nature, and there was only like 6 incandescent sockets in the entire gym in what is the power rack dumbbell area and the bench area. So I just arbitrarily would hang shop lights, like you get at a hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's. Back then, this is like 2004, 2005, prior to actually having the gym open to private clients. I would just arbitrarily hang one where I could build a plug-in, and I ultimately took the walls down and, terminated the wire back to the breaker panel and ran wire to put lights up. And ultimately, as those lights started to fail after about 12 years, believe it or not, I started hanging new light fixtures with diffusers and, that mounted straight to the roof, the floor joist above. And so you can see, that I've been there a while. I started having people in the gym in 2006. Anyway, I showed Bobby the first bar that Jim Ingram and I bought. This was in 2001. Bought it from a friend of mine who was the meet director of the WPA Worlds in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was Carl Seeker. And this is before I even lived in the house that I'm in now and built the gym. And that's what we used to squat with, and we squatted with it. It was a Sutherland copy. I want to say it was 60 or 65 pounds. I don't remember. It's still in great shape. We don't use it, but it's still in great shape. And I'm always, I want to keep that bar just to pay homage to how this all started. In 2000, I helped Scott Taylor run an APA meet. Chris Gaines of the Gaines family from Hermitage, Old Hickory, was the athletic director at Friendship Christian, and wanted to have a meet, and did not. I was associated with APA and NASA, but Chris wanted to use the APA because they allowed multiply and that sort of thing, and that's how I became the state chair. Anyway, we borrowed every piece of equipment we could find, and Pete Peden, God rest his soul, gave me some manual squat stands and some plates that we still have in the gym. I still have a pair. He ultimately gave me more. A pair ended up at Matt Poe's gym, and I want to say another pair ended up with Josh and Melissa Kylo. So ultimately, it's a brief history. The long and short of it is Bobby asked me, after I told him the amount of work that it took just to get the gym where it is today, do I regret doing it? And the answer is no. I mean, it's one of those things where I get to wake up, I go downstairs, I do not, have to wake up at 3:30 to get up and have something to eat, make coffee, and drive. And I used to drive from Antioch to Hermitage 6 days a week to train. And, to have a gym that has Forza squat stand, Forza bench, Bulldog bench, we have 3 monoliths, we have a Texas Strength System combo rack, and a myriad. And when I say a myriad, there is a myriad of different bars there. 45-pound power bars, 20-kilo power bars. There's 3 different types of safety squat bars and different cambered bars, and all that. There's whatever you call the Buffalo bar that I got from Ricky Dale Crane. There's just all kinds of stuff there. Numerous deadlift bars and trap bars, pound plates, kilo plates, pound and kilo bumper sets, 20 and 15 kilo Olympic bars, and that's just things that we have accumulated over time. Strongman equipment, all those things. And ultimately, again, as I have been much longer winded than I wanted to be, I just want to let everybody know how thankful I am and how blessed I am, especially as we're coming up on Thanksgiving. And when you see our gym, because man, there's so many great gyms out there, bigger and nicer than ours, but I never want you to compare, because if you've got your own little place and you've got a power rack, and maybe you're fortunate enough that you've got some Rogue hooks or those Titan fitness hooks, and you've got a bar and plates and some dumbbells, and you're getting in there and you're busting your ass and doing everything you can to be better, that's a gym, and that's something to be proud of. And I hope that you never look and envy and compare, is that you look and you watch, and that you're inspired, and that you become motivated, not to buy a bunch of equipment. I like equipment. I like buying that stuff. Thank God I don't golf, because I'd have to have clubs for when it's a fall day and a spring day and rain and snow. I'm that kind of guy. So, like my bourbon collection, I couldn't have a nice little rack with 30 bottles of bourbon in it. No, I've got about $1,200 worth of furniture that has, I don't even know how many bottles of bourbon in it. But that's what I'm telling you, is that's just the kind of person I am. You don't have to have all those toys to get super strong and to do really well. And I don't want anybody to compare. I want you to be inspired. I want you to be motivated. I want you to see it as a place that if you come, that you can find sanctuary, and you can find guidance and people that are like-minded, and create that atmosphere wherever you are. And because here's what a gym is. It is a building with equipment in it where people come and are like-minded and work hard and support one another. And the key component is what I said, the ladder. Anybody can buy a building or build a building or put a rack in their house and buy equipment, but it's the people that make the gym. It's the people that make the team. And don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise, because that's the simple fact, that without the gym members, there's no gym. I mean, I just got a big room of equipment. And so again, if you have listened all the way here, I really appreciate you indulging me. And I want you to hopefully feel as blessed as I do. I drive old, used, beat-up cars so I can make sure I can travel and keep the gym going. And I'm blessed. I'm long past worrying about what anybody thinks about my vehicles. It'd be nice to have a nicer vehicle, but I'd rather go to places like Belarus with my teammates, or White Plains, New York, or have people come over to my house on New Year's Eve and drink a bunch of beer and bourbon and eat a bunch of food and have a good time with one another and enjoy each other's friendship and fellowship. So here's your invitation. If you want to come to Nashville, come to Mount Juliet on New Year's Eve. We host a little event, and it's just food and drink. And we have a lot of space, so somebody's got to stay, and there's hotels close by. And come see us. If you're going to be in the area but you've got plans, let me know. Come by, sample some bourbon that you probably have never had, and have something to eat or drink, and at least come by. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be blessed. Have a great day.